And welcome to Grandad's Reviews. Today we're going to have a look at flash on Fuji X-T3, and it will relate to other Fuji X cameras like the X-T30 and the X-T2. Not going to look how to use the flash, but really the settings that's in the camera and how they affect other settings. And I'm going to start off with the little flash you get with your X-T3, which is the EF-X8. So let's have a look what it does on the camera. So we plug the flash in, and if we go into the menus, up to the flash menu, and we go to flash function settings, you'll see it's just on M at the moment. You need to lift the flash up for it to actually come into play. So now you've got the option of TTL, or if you use the rear control dial you can have manual. So in this we can set the manual power from 1 to 1 all the way down to 1/64. Now I have got the camera set in fully manual, so we've got the shutter speed at the flash sync, which is 2/50th, got ISO at 800, and I've got the aperture set at 2.8. So in this setup, so we can go down to 1/64, or come along to 1 to 1. You've also got or off. Now in TTL, on this particular flash you can't actually change anything. Zoom is supplied by the flash, so we can't do anything on there. It isn't a flash that zooms. Sync, so when the flash will fire, if it's on front, it'll fire as soon as the shutter starts to move, or we can change it to second curtain, which is it'll fire as the shutter starts to close, and you can get different effects. Use it on front. Now, come out of that. You've also got red eye removal, so you've got removal, flash, flash and removal, or off. And then we've got this TTL Lock mode. And what this is, if you designate a custom button to do TTL Lock, whatever you set here is what that button will do. So in this case, lock with last flash, or lock with metering flash. So what that means is, if you do lock with last flash, whatever the last flash meter reading was, that's what it will stay at. If you do it with metering flash, then it'll, whatever the flash meters, it will change to. So if the lighting conditions change or anything like that, then it will change. But if you're in a controlled condition in a studio, you can lock from the last flash. So you take a shot, if that looks okay, lock with the last flash, they'll actually stay like that. So that's what you get with this small flash. So we've got it on TTL down there. Also in TTL, just quickly going back to it, you can actually do flash compensation. So we can overexpose the flash or underexpose the flash compared to the surrounding light. So we'll leave it at 0. We'll take a shot. So behind the chair everything is in good exposure, but say the chair is underexposed. So we'll take the shot, and if we play it, see that the actual chair is correctly illuminated. So this is the small flash, and basically that's all it will do. So if we put this down and take it off, what I've got here, I've got the Godox TT350 for Fuji. So if we put that one on, you'll see that we'll get quite a few more options. I'll lock that down and turn it on. Now once it's charged up, we get the TTL locked on there. Now on the actual flash itself, I've got it as TTL zoom on auto. So if we go into flash setting now, so in TTL we've got the same. We can still do the flash compensation, but now we've got up to 5 stops compensation. We can do manual. We can go down to 1/512th power, so a lot more power. We can change the power a lot more on this flash. Come back to 1:1. A lot more control over this. Back to 1:1. We've got multi, so we can do a number of flashes at a lower speed, so 1/4 speed, and we can come down here how many number of flashes we're going to do it at. 2 flashes, all the way up to an infinite number of flashes. So we can build that up. And so we've got off as well, so we can switch it off. So go back to TTL. In TTL we've got the zoom, so we can actually manually alter the zoom, or let it be auto, which will zoom with the actual zoom of the camera. We've got the LED on the front of the flash, which we can either have as autofocus assist light, we can have it as to pump some catch lighting if it was a white light. This one's red, so it doesn't really help. Or we can do both, or we can switch it off. Again, we can do our sync. We've got an extra one in here, so we can do the second curtain, or we can do high speed shutter. So we can actually then use a higher shutter speed than the sync and angle. And on here, it's altering the actual spread of the flash. So we can do flash power priority, standard or even coverage. So if I do it into that one, flash power priority, come back out. Again, we've got our red eye removal, got the TTL flash lock, and the LED light, which we can do separately from the main thing. So here we've got that setting, and it should prioritise the power of the flash. So that should be prioritising that power of the. And if we go back into it, we'll do an even coverage this time. And take that again. Spread on the actual flash. Now, one thing I have noticed, well, I've got the TTL Lock programmed on. Now I haven't got TTL Lock on at the moment, and I can go into our Q menu and I can change different things. Now we've got TTL Lock set to last flash. So if I do that, it'll lock it, but now I can't get into the Q menu. It locks out the Q menu for some reason. And say we're now locked on the whatever the last flash metering was. I'll take that off. If we go into this again, come down to lock with metering flash. When I do it, it'll fire a little flash. We're now locked to whatever that metered, and I say it locks out of Q. So if you want to, if the lighting changed and you wanted to do that again, you could just take another shot. Another metered shot, like so. Or let's say we can change this to lock with the last flash, like so. So if we go into here, let's change this to multi, and we'll do 64th power. We'll fire 6 flashes. We'll leave the hertz on 1. We'll take that. So it fired 6 really quick flashes at a 64th power. We can change that to, see if we notice a difference on what hertz we've got. Oops, 100 hertz. See if we notice any difference. That was 100 hertz, and that was a single hertz. Go back into that. Go back into TTL. And what we'll do now is change the shutter speed. Let's do it to 2000th. Now at 2000 the flash should still fire because we're in high speed flash. Should have an image. So it's just a quirk that you can't get into the Q menu, because in the manual it says that even if you're using TTL Lock you can use flash compensation, but you can't. You can get into the menus, but when you come back out you've lost it. So to do flash compensation with TTL Lock you've got to go in, do your compensation. So if I do it one stop over, got plus one stop, over. As soon as we go back into compensation, we'll lose that lock. Whereas if I've got a lock in, I can come into here and I've got flash compensation on my Q menu. So it's just a bit annoying that, but just a small little thing that it obviously does. That's what the flash settings are when we've got the camera set to manual. But if we put the camera into different settings, we actually get different options. So if we put the camera into shutter priority, so now the camera's changing the aperture on what shutter speed I'm setting. So if we set the shutter speed to 100, and when we go into the flash function now, we've got TTL, so in shutter priority we get exactly the same as normal. So if we go into aperture priority, so we've got that A on the screen, go into the flash settings. Now as you can see the TTL mode is available. So if I click into there, we've got standard TTL, which is same as the other one, and we've got slow sync TTL, which means that you can drop the use a lower shutter speed than the sync speed and get some different effects. So that's that one. If we come out of that, and if we now go into, and now we're in program mode, so we've got the P, so everything is set to auto. If we go into the flash, we've now got flash auto, which is, as it says, the flash will fire when required. So if there's enough light for the flash not to require, it won't fire, and if it needs it, it will. And we've got standard and we've got the slow sync, and all the other settings are the same. That's the only difference we've got when going through the different modes on the camera. So when you're in program mode, you can set the flash to be automatic and it will fire when it's required, otherwise it won't. If you're in aperture priority, then you can actually put it to do a slow sync, so it will pick a slower shutter speed and fire the flash. When you're in shutter priority, then it's exactly the same as when you're in manual. So they're the different settings on that. So that's my quick look at flash settings on the Fuji X cameras as it regards to the little flash you get, the EF-X8, and also the Godox flashes. It's similar on the larger flashes as well as these little 350. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. If you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. If you want to be notified, hit that bell button. Till next time, see you later.